They say good things come to those who wait. Well, guess I'm gonna be at least an hour late. You've been so good to me, allow me to demonstrate. Hey, real loving, you don't have to wait.
Happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Grey Wall Conversations with Doek and Ty. My name is Bonang and this is my handsome husband. His name is Bokamoso, but he prefers Ty, so this is Ty. And welcome to our platform. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to the page. Thank you to everyone who has liked the page on Facebook. We are very grateful. We are happy to have you. And yeah, welcome. How are you?
The last time, I'm okay, babe. The last time we decided we're gonna call ourselves the villagers. Like, you can tell, be like a village. And this is head. And then the headsman.
No.
And then we decided we're gonna do that. I think we talked about it for a bit. But Bonang is against the villagers title. For all of us who follow the channel and participate and liked, we'll call ourselves the villagers. But Bonang doesn't like it. And it's too... What's wrong with it?
I just don't vibe with it. That's it.
The villagers. So we've resorted to what? You were saying?
We have resorted to welcome to the tribe.
The Doek and Ty tribe.
Yes.
So that's what we've resorted to.
Yes.
But as you see, man, new month, new me. The hair's gone. I think that's very noticeable. I was growing my hair for about 4 months.
Here, I'm going natural.
When it started,
the
the plan was to support my wife's natural hair journey. But then I fell in love with my natural hair. It was nice. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but I liked it. And when COVID hit, the plan was for me to only cut it when everybody had been vaccinated and would moved away from the COVID era. But life happened. New months, I've decided to cut it, and yeah, this is me now. My wife thinks I look absolutely ridiculous. Imagine.
That's not stuff we tell people.
So yes. She doesn't like my head.
I love your head.
But when I got the haircut, we get and I get pale and it feels so good,
But you also hated it because winter.
Yeah.
It was too much of a breeze for him.
Yeah, but yeah, so this is me, new month, new me. Are you one of those people where when like a new season hits or a new month, you change something about yourself, whether it's your nails, whether it's your haircut, whether it's your wardrobe, or welcoming or what is it? Ushering in a new me into that either new season or new month. Do you do that?
No.
Okay.
But if I had the money, yes, for every season I would have a new wardrobe. Makes sense.
Technically, we all have new wardrobes for new seasons. Well, it's all clothes, but I got like 2 tees and 1 jean there. You're like, yes, new season, new me. But yeah, so that's how I've been. Interesting week. But yeah, man, I missed Doek and Ty. I absolutely love being here. This is one of my favorite spots in the house because we get to have open conversations and we appreciate every single person who's been contributing to those conversations. And we're hoping that those conversations don't only end with you watching Doek and Ty, but you extend the conversations to your friends, you extend the conversations to your family, and you extend the conversation to your places of work. Let's just have honest, raw conversations about life, because at the end of the day we're kind of all going through the same things, Yeah. So what do you want to talk about today?
So on today's episode we wanted to discuss generally just, I don't know what to call it, like relationships we have with other people, be it friendships, be it acquaintances. Sometimes we find that friendships are not clearly defined. And we find that I feel some sort of way, whereas you do not feel that way. Maybe I consider you a close friend and you just consider me an acquaintance.
Yeah.
So now I want to talk about how do we then deal with those, and how important is actually drawing a line or like defining the relationship when it comes to, friendships.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how do you know you're somebody's friend to begin with? Because unlike Facebook, I can consider you my friend, and you might not consider me your friend. I get a Facebook, if I send you a friend request to accept, we're now friends, right?
Yes.
I'm your friend, you're my friend. But in real life, it doesn't work like that.
Yes.
So how do you know that you're somebody's friend to begin with? I think that's the baseline of everything.
That's a very difficult question. But normally you find that people of similar interests, getting birds of a feather, we find that when we tend to have similar interests, we sort of come together, we hang out, we do things together, and eventually we call ourselves friends, we become BFFs. Sometimes one of the two or the three is the first one to use the friend word, and then you're like, oh, so we're friends. And then eventually as the friendship grows, it moves from we're friends to she's my best friend, and you're like, okay, so clearly I'm moving up in this thing. So yes, let's talk friendships. And how do you know where you stand in someone's life? Does it have to be explicitly said? Does it have to be explicitly put out? Or do I make assumptions and then just assume
Okay.
we are or we are? Yes.
I think I can chime in there, right? So when starting off, it's gonna sound weird, when starting off with friendships, but I think as a kid, you move more as a group again.
Yeah.
And then eventually as you get older, the group gets smaller, and then you find yourself with maybe 2 or 3 people you're very close with, and you guys consider yourself friends. So growing up with friendship, it was all assumed. Well, boys, we hang out all the time. We walk together. We walk back together. If we buy something, I share. If you buy something, we share, right? So there was a lot of assumptions that I made with friendships when it all began, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it was for me. I think childhood, a lot of us do that. There's never a point where we sit down and say, hey, do you want to be my friend? I think there's very few people who do that, right? And then the other person, of course, would have to consent about, okay, but as kids, naturally, when you start gravitating towards each other, you end up as a bunch, and you guys get closer the more that you grow up. So there was no point where I sat down with any of my friends,
and you're like,
whether past or present, right? Guys, today, the 25th of April,
We became friends.
we are becoming friends. So it didn't happen like
That's
that,
our
right?
anniversary.
Yeah. So that's not how friendships, that's not how I built friendships, starting from when I was a child. But there came a point in my life when I realized, there needs to be some sort of understanding, underlying, there needs to be, the words are gone. There needs to be some sort of rapport between myself and Motelo, what I consider as a friend. Because I'd been in instances where I'd considered somebody a close friend, but one day they thought I was an acquaintance. And normally you find out that the hard way, right? Like a favor, and you go in with all the confidence in the world, right? And they're like, hey, dude, I don't think I can do that. We're not that close, right? So that's when it hits. In reality, they're not really wrong. You guys are not really, you've never really established the basis of your friendship.
Yes.
So I came to a point in my life where I started profiling my friends. Okay, so this guy, is he the type of person who I can do we invite each other to birthdays? Do we buy each other birthday gifts? Can I call him midnight? I'm stuck somewhere and I can't leave and I need to go home. So it's important. That's how I started behaving towards my friends. I started profiling them silently at first, but at a later stage, I was fortunate enough to have honest conversations with my friends or the different level of friends that I have to say, hey, dude, can I rely on you? If I call you at 3 a.m. in the morning, you will come pick me up wherever I am, and then I'll explain later. Can we bury a body together? Allegedly, right? Allegedly. But the point there being that I am a firm believer in knowing
where you stand
with friends, and let the reverse also be true, right? What my friend knows, okay, we're friends like that.
Yeah.
We can borrow each other money, we can call each other at midnight, and then I can go pick him up wherever he is, no questions asked, right? And I can have home or money or anything like that. So I think growing up, it's important to do that and know where you stand in people's lives and also knowing where they stand in your life. Right?
Yes.
Is it the same with girls? Because now all these people that I'm talking about it's men, it's young men. So I don't know if it's the same with women. Do you guys do that as females?
As females, yes, to some extent. There's conversations that we do have, but then there's also conversations that we don't have, but we know. You'd have like subtle things
That's
said.
dangerous.
I know it's very dangerous. You'd have subtle things said, subtle but not so subtle, like understandings with things like you were asking, like let's say, for example, if someone were to hurt my best friend, we jokingly talk about it, but yeah, that will hurt a man, but you know. Yes.
Allegedly.
You hurt my best friend, I hurt you. You break
Allegedly.
her, I break you.
Allegedly.
That is the, you know, that's us.
Yeah.
So with friends, yes, there are certain conversations that need to be had, but most times you find that we fail to have such conversations. We think we have an understanding, only to later realize, there's no understanding. Like, you think, for example, Bugamso and I are BFFs, and Bugamso, something important in Bugamso's life happens, and he does not tell me. Why? Because Bugamso feels like maybe we're acquaintances or maybe we've been out of touch. And I don't feel that way. So I think it is important to be very honest with each other. Sometimes in life, maybe I was not there for you as a friend when you needed me or wanted me to be there.
And you got cut off.
And I got cut off. And I don't know that I got cut off. So a bit of communication maybe would be nice. And sometimes I think we go through some things and we don't tell our friends. And then, I don't know, maybe we blame them afterwards, or we feel like we've grown apart because now we have this thing that we've gone through that we are unable to share with our friends because maybe we feel like they'll look at us differently, or maybe we don't want to be pitied. We want our friends to look at us a certain way.
Okay, quick question, right?
Yes.
I think somebody might be watching this and think these guys are being too technical.
I get it.
It sounds absolutely ridiculous. Are you going to go to every single friend or acquaintance and say, Maran, what are we? Right? It might sound a bit too technical. Do you think we're over-complicating friendship and just conversations? Maybe we talk too much and we expect people to also be just that open with us.
I don't think we're over-complicating relationships. It's just knowing. I think it's important to know. It's important for me to know if I have a breakdown right now, like, can I call Horata and say, Horata, I need you to come get me. Will Horata come? That is the question. Because I'm calling her because I believe that Horata will come. So what happens when I call Horata only in that moment of need, realize, no, we are not there. We are not those people. Or Horata calls me midnight in her time of need, and I'm like, fam, why don't you try call someone else? So I think it's important to understand, as friends, how far are you willing to go, or how far are your friends willing to go for you, so that we don't end up being disappointed, we don't end up my 1% battery that's left, I place that one phone call to someone who's going to say no. They would never in their life say no. So I think it's important. And also so that we don't get hurt. Because sometimes we believe that we are important, I believe. We believe that we hold a certain place in our friends' lives. Only to learn that, no, you've long been demoted.
Yeah. Let's talk about that issue. Yeah, you mentioned earlier, being cut off, right?
Hey.
So what's your take on communication in friendships? I know get the high maintenance, and then there are some friends you can maybe 3 months but when you get together and talk, it's like you guys haven't been separated at all. So where do you classify yourself in those two two groups of people? Are you the type of person who's high maintenance in a relation, in a friendship? Every day, post to a SBFF every day on status. You want to be tagged on Instagram. You want to be taken out on dates. I'm not saying these things are wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to classify two extreme group of friends, or my assumed two extreme.
So you want to know where on the spectrum?
Where do you fall? Are you here on the high maintenance or on low maintenance? Even if somebody goes for 3 months as your friend, as a learner, and then you guys get to talk after 3 or 4 months, you're still okay. You don't feel like they cut you off, because you mentioned being cut off earlier.
Yes.
Maybe that person just assumes you're a low maintenance friend. But when you do get together, when you do have those touch points, you guys are able to rekindle those friendship flames, and then it appears as if you guys have never been apart. So where do you fall?
I think it's important to know as friends the kind of friends that you have, or the kind, because different people react differently to communication and everything. So with my friends, I find that they are low maintenance.
Are you sure? Can I about high maintenance?
They're very low maintenance. I know that for a fact. For a fact.
Are you certain of this?
I'm certain. I'm very certain. My friends are very low maintenance in that we maintain communication, not constant. We check in, and then for important events, birthdays, weddings, celebrations, and things like that, we keep in constant communication if there's something like that. But for like everyday communication, we talk to each other once in a while, and we ensure that we try to have at least a monthly brunch meeting.
Okay. Let's say meeting sounds a little formal.
I know, but okay, we have
a get together
once a month where we just talk, where we eat tons of food and just catch up.
Yeah.
So I believe that's low maintenance.
Yeah, because maybe to answer the same question that I posed to you, I think I am. My friends might think that I am maybe a douchebag sometimes, like a little douchey, a little standoffish, a little not checking in, because. Man, I don't know. This is gonna sound like an excuse, but sometimes life just happens to me. And I've realized that the older that you get, this is just my opinion, sometimes you just need to sit alone and think and process and introspect and make decisions, right? It's not all the time that I want to be like in a group or on a meetup and mingle. There are times when I just want to be alone. Even you know this. Like sometimes when I think that maybe you did something wrong, because there are times when I just want to be alone and quiet and introspect and just think about life.
His best friend, imagine, away from his ray of sunshine.
I am guilty of not checking in as often as I should, or not as communicating as often as I should. So I think I fall in that range. I am very low key. But maybe this is an assumption also that I'm making. I expect your energies to be where my energies are. Maybe that's something that I need to look into and fix.
Yes.
Because I can be quiet for a week or 2 weeks, and then I call you, hey, okay, let's link up, let's do this, and this. And you'd assume that from my energies, this is somebody I just seen yesterday.
Yeah.
But with hello, I haven't seen that person in a month or in 2 months. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I believe, in conclusion, I think it is important to have those conversations. I know we always talk about having conversations, and it gets a bit too much sometimes, because it's always let's talk. But these conversations don't have to be very serious and very formal. It could be, as guys, it could be when you guys are having a braai and you're talking about how you guys relate, or how, if one of you were to have like a pancha in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so you have such conversations because you need to understand as friends, and you also need to understand as a friend. I am that very needy friend. Needy, not in the sense home, but emotionally, as in I constantly need reassurance. I constantly need. I constantly need to be texting or posting or kids or no, we're still going at this friendship thing. And that's okay. But I
can't do it.
It can't be a situation where I'm that sort of person and then you are my best friend, but you don't know I'm that sort of person.
Yeah,
because
it don't
then
work out.
Our friendship is going to fizzle. It's gonna fizzle out. Yes. So that's why I believe it's important for as friends, let's communicate, let's talk, let's try to understand how we communicate with each other, how we factor into each other's lives. Am I that friend who is only for fun? Am I that fun friend? Am I that friend who you can talk about anything with? Or am I that friend who just comes and I'm the life of the party, and then after the party we just check in, go to partying? Am I that friend? So I think it's important for us to communicate and to know, so that in future we do not hurt each other's feelings. Yes.
Avoid disappointment, avoid hurt, and avoid what else? Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So what kind of friend are you to me?
Fam, I'm everything. I'm everything to you. I'm the air you breathe. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in.
No,
breathe
babe.
it in.
No.
Yeah.
We're not that close, fam.
We are so close. We are closer than close.
No.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who subscribed to the YouTube channel, the Doek and Ty Tribe. Thank you to everybody who's liked the Facebook page, and thank you to everybody who's followed us on Instagram. It's at Doek and Ty.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
We'll see you guys next week. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
They say good things come to those who wait.